Hi, welcome to another Kentucky Health Solutions YouTube video. My name is Justin Alls. I'm an agent here at Kentucky Health Solutions, and today we're going to be running you through how to do a prescription drug search on Medicare.gov. This is just an educational presentation. None of this is going to be for any plan benefits or specific to a person. This is just for your knowledge on how to run a prescription drug review so you can do it yourself if you'd like. So right in here, we're just going to go to Medicare.gov, and there's a couple options on how you can do this. The first option is you can log in or create an account if you don't have one on Medicare.gov, and you can actually run the search directly from your account just by selecting the medications that Medicare has pulled from your claims history. So it makes it really, really easy. Now, I, as an agent, am not a Medicare beneficiary, so I do not have a login for that. So today we're going to show you how to do that from scratch without an account. So we're just going to come down here to the Find Health and Drug Plans and hit Find Plans Now. So once we're here, you can either use your account, log in, and it'll just pull your saved drugs and pharmacies that you filled everything out so you can look at that a little bit easier and quicker. To do it without an account is what we're going to do over here. So I'm going to type in a zip code here in Lexington and just show you a couple things. So first off, we're going to go in here and we're going to select drug plan or Part D. You can do this for a couple other types of plans, but this is what we're focusing on today in this video. So we'll just hit apply there. And with this zip code here where we are in Kentucky, there's actually two different counties you could technically be in. We're going to hit Fayette County because that's where we're at. And it is based on county for some of these plans, so it's important you select the right county because if you select the incorrect county, you could have plans pop up that are not actually available to you. So once you've selected that, we're going to hit Start here, and it's going to come down to this Help with Your Costs screen. So do you get help with your costs from one of these programs? So they have Medicaid, SSI, the Medicare Savings Program, extra help from Social Security. You're not sure or you don't get help from any of these programs. This is what we're going to use today, but if you were to get help with Medicaid or extra help from Social Security, you would click those buttons and they would have little options here where you say, you get the full amount or a partial amount depending on what you're at. If you're not sure, you can always check, generally by either calling the Social Security office for the extra help or the Medicaid office, or if you have the Medicaid card, that's generally a good indication that you have that. But again, we're going to keep it simple and just say that you don't get help from any of these programs. Now we'll hit next. Now, I've already plugged in a couple of these medications here, but I'll show you how to do it. So generally what'll pop up is you're going to see a screen like this once you hit next on that I don't get help from any other places. This is what's going to pop up. And what you'll do is you'll just type in medications that you may know that you take. You want to read them off of your medication bottle, because you'll want to make sure that your spelling is correct as possible. It does generally help you out a little bit on some of the spelling. And we'll just select this one here to add it to our list, just that way you can see what it looks like. So there'll be a little drop down box here, and it doesn't pop up very well on our recording, but there's different dosages. So you'll want to read your dosage off your bottle, and we can change that dosage within here to whatever you may take. And you'll want to plug in how many you take per day. So the way I generally do that, or it's per month rather. So if you take it once per day, you type in 30. If you take it twice per day, you type in 60. And so we want to use this every month cost because in this drop down, you're going to have options to select every 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. Now, the reason we want to use every month is because it makes the math a little easier on the system. So even if you fill it for 90 days, plug it in as if you're filling it for 30 days with that correct quantity. If it's something that you only take once every 3 months or once every 12 months, type it in as that, saying that you would take that medication once every 6 months or every 3 months or every 12 months, whatever it may be. But for your regular medications that we're taking every day, we want to use the monthly calculation because it makes the math a little easier for the system. So we'll just hit add to drug list there. And so you'll see all these others that I've already typed in here just to give you a general idea. So a lot of these are going to be generics, but we do have one brand name just to show you what that kind of looks like. So once you're finished there, you'll just hit done adding drugs. and it'll bring you to your pharmacy page. Again, I've pre-selected some of these, but this is generally what the page will come straight to. It'll usually search within a mile of you. There are other distances if you don't see the pharmacy you go to in there. Now, it's not super important to focus on the actual street address here. A CVS is a CVS in the system. The costs are going to be the same generally, unless they're in different counties or different states, of course, but usually you're going to be searching where you live. So I've also included the mail order pharmacy to show you what that looks like. Those are automatically calculated at every 90 days, so a 3-month supply, and generally those are going to be preferred pharmacies as well. So I've added a bunch of the large chains here: CVS, Walmart, Walgreens, Kroger, and of course the mail order there. So once that, in the bottom right of the screen there, you're going to see that done button. You can see it right next to my head there. So we'll just hit done. So when you get to this page, it's going to list the plans automatically by lowest drug plus premium cost. There are options to list it by lowest drug deductible and lowest premium, but we want this combo, because what the combo is going to do for you, it's going to take a look at the monthly premium here, any drug deductible that you would have, plus the actual copays for the plan for the remainder of the year, and it's going to add that up and give it to us right here for the retail and right here for the mail order pharmacy. So we want to take a look at this large number. So as we scroll down, you'll see that number does start to slowly climb as we go down based on whatever plans we're looking at here. So like for instance, this one has a much lower premium than that top plan that popped up, but it does have a larger deductible. Therefore, our costs are going to be higher. So we're going to come back up here to this top plan, which I believe was the Silver Script plan. And again, this is just educational, where we're going to take a look at it. We're not promoting any plan or anything like that. So we'll just hit plan details once we found the plan that it's thinking will be best for us, just so we can read into it a little bit, because we want to know what that coverage is going to look like. So on here on this page, it's going to show you the total monthly premium, the drug deductible, if any, and the contact information for the plan. There's also the phone numbers for the plan up here, as well as the plan ID. So that way, if you wanted to match it up or anything like that, you can let us know. We also generally will know them by these names when we're working with our clients. So as we come down the page, all the pharmacies that I plugged in here, you'll see that most of them are preferred: mail order, Walmart, Kroger, and CVS. But Walgreens is a standard in-network pharmacy. So what does that mean? So if we come down a little bit more here, it shows us the yearly drug cost by pharmacy. And again, this is for the remainder of the year. So when this video is filmed, October, November, December is all we have left in the month or the year. If you do the search after October 1st during that annual enrollment period, it will show you January 1st through December 31st. So just show you your full cost there. So you can see here that the cost for some of the medications at a standard pharmacy such as Walgreens is much higher than some of these other ones. So it's just important to keep that in mind, that that will add up over the course of a full year, because again, this is only looking at 3 months. So a little bit farther down, it's going to show you what it expects your total cost to be across each pharmacy for the remainder of the year. And that's, again, copays, deductible, premium. It'll let you know right here whether or not you're going to enter the coverage gap. So again, we only have 3 months left in the year here, so it's not going to show us that coverage gap. But generally, we probably would with something expensive like Eliquis on there. And we'll get into those costs here in just 1 second. The estimated total monthly drug cost estimates your cost at each pharmacy for that month. So again, if you had a medication that you took every 3 months, it would only pop up on here every 3 months. So it's not like this mail order pharmacy here with $120 once, and you don't pay for it again because it's an every 3-month thing. So if we take a look at the CVS pharmacy, and I'm going to go ahead and expand the mail order down here because we'll talk about both of these. So at a preferred pharmacy, it's going to show you the estimated retail cost, and it adds that up. And this is the number that Medicare looks at when they're calculating whether or not you're going to enter that coverage gap. And then here, they're going to show you what your copays are after you've met the deductible. If you had a deductible, there would be another column between these two that shows what your cost would be within the deductible. Generally, it's the retail cost of the medication until you meet that deductible, and then you'll just have whatever your copays are. So it looks like most of the medications here I pulled off the top of my head were tier 1 generics because there's no copay tied to them, where this Eliquis is a tier 3 brand name. And so it'll show you what that copay is. If you were to enter the coverage gap, so again, with something like Eliquis, we most likely will for next year, you can look at what your coverage gap cost would be, because generally, remember, that is 25% of the medication. The cost after the coverage gap, so if you were to exit the coverage gap because you hit that limit, then you would be here, and these would be your costs for these particular medications. So coming down a little bit for Walgreens, just to show you that, you can see that some of the copays are higher because it's considered a standard in-network versus a preferred. For mail order, you'll see that pretty much all the costs are the same. It's just done by every 3 months, so you're going to see that 3-month cost there on all of these here in those different stages. Continuing down, this blue button here, View More Drug Coverage, it is important to look at this sometimes, because it gives us a little bit more insight into the plan itself. So it'll show you the actual cost on some of these plans, and it automatically goes to preferred retail pharmacy. If preferred retail is an option on the plan, there is standard retail pharmacy where you can hit change there, and it'll pop up what those costs would be at a standard pharmacy, and then what the preferred mail order cost would be if you do that for the 3 months. So that's how you kind of break that down and see what the copays are generally. Up above, this is where you see what they are specifically for your medications. As we go down here, it'll tell us each tier that the medication is in, whether it's tier 1 through 5 generally. Tier 3 is generally where you get into your brand name medication, so that's this preferred brand section. And so it'll let you know about what the copay should be based on this tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It'll also let you know if there's any prior authorization that may be needed. Step therapy, which is where you have to try a generic before you can use a brand name if there's a lower cost alternative. And then also quantity limits. So if there are any limits on the amount of pills you can get per month, again, that is generally up to your doctor, and they can work to get around some of these things. If you've already done them and have been taking the medication for a while and you're just switching to a new plan, you may have to go through this prior authorization or step therapy, but you can usually submit forms to say, hey, I've already done this, I've been on this medication, and you and your doctor can work on that and get it submitted to the company. On the drug list, it just reminds us, what we plugged in as far as dosage and the frequency that we take it, lets them know whether or not it's a generic or brand generally, and we can click this change drugs button if we need to plug something else in, like we forgot it, or if you just want to try a generic over the brand name if you take a brand name. At the very bottom here, you'll see that there are star ratings for the plan. So every plan is going to have star ratings. You can see them on that title page when you come in and look at all the different plans up front. And so the way it breaks down this star rating is through customer service, complaints and changes, experience, safety and accuracy of the pricing, etc. And it breaks all that down and gives them a rating, and that feeds into this overall rating from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. And all that information is available here on Medicare.gov. So generally, this is how you will do a Medicare drug search. And once that search is completed, then you can take your preferred plan that you found best for you, send it over to us, and there's a few ways that we can help you enroll. That way we can continue to service your policy as your agent of record. So the first way, we do have links for a lot of these plans where it's kind of like a self-enrollment, where we can just send it to you, you fill it out, and we'll provide instructions on how to do that. We can also do applications over the phone, or we can send you a paper application to get everything completed, and you just mail it back to us once you have it done, and we'll get everything submitted for you. That way we can be your agent of record and service your policy. So feel free to contact us using the contact forms on our webpage, or by giving your specific agent a call or shooting them an email to get these processes completed. Thank you for stopping by to watch this video, especially if you've watched all the way to the end here. We do appreciate it. Feel free to like the video if it was educational for you, and subscribe to the channel for any new videos that we bring out with these updates to Medicare and other health insurance here in Kentucky. Medicare is, of course, federal, so we'll be able to give you some of the updates across the board there. So have a great day. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great one.